Welcome to another edition of the Bombastic podcast. I'm your host, Imani Wilson. Welcome. You're probably wondering why so spiffy with the red satin blazer or smoking jacket or whatever you want to call it, really. It's because this is a special episode, okay? This is episode number 3, the fourth in the series, and this so happens to fall on Valentine's Day. But that's not going to be the overarching theme for the whole episode, so you need not worry about this being some surely just mushy shit extravaganza. If anything, this is going to be a 3-way. And not, there's no cue of like some random women coming to like embrace themselves, around my neck. That part of my life is over. If anything, this is going to be the regular show format. A little bit of Valentine's Day related-esque shit and Black History Month, okay? Because I fucking realized we're almost 2 weeks in to the month of February, which is pretty much exactly the halfway point. And I didn't cover shit Black History Month related, so that's shame on me. But firstly, let me just say, while I am doing this intro, that it fucking feels good to be, clean cut and shaven. Okay, probably wondering like, hey, well, the look is definitely different besides the red blazer. Yeah, I got, clean lined up. Shout out to my new barber, Big Mike. Feel like everybody knows a Big Mike somewhere. And, yeah, this is me at 100% also. It's not me at like that 90-ish or whatever the case may be. Like, this is literally me locked in. I'm at 100%. I'm feeling like I'm ready to give in my 110% as I always do in these podcasts. And let me just say also, really, the reception I've gotten is fucking beautiful, man. It really is. Like, it makes me emotional, like, sincerely. From like all my friends, all the folks who've like shared the shit and, been able to go ahead and go out to give me feedback, give me suggestions. And I knew it was some shit when my dad called me yesterday, as of this recording. Called me yesterday and was just like, oh, hey, I got your grandfather on the line. And my grandfather's like such a fucking throwback. So he calls me, like, when I say throwback, he sounds like somebody who's from, like, the movie The Warriors or something, or Uptown Saturday Night. Like, he's just one of those cool cats from back in the day. So he'd be like, hey, man, what's going on, man? Like, hey, listen, I checked out, I didn't know you had a podcast, man. I knew it's a wrap once my fucking grandfather knows I have a podcast. So I'm like, man, this is crazy to me. I'm just getting so much beautiful reception from like friends and family alike. The way the shit, it just feels good. It feels real good. And like I said, more than anything, I just love all the support that I've got. So shout out to my boy Chris Lokes and his podcast. Shout out to my boy Miami V, my boy Vicente. Shout out to Randy, aka Havoc. Shout out to my son Julian, aka Chill, okay? Father loves you, okay? That's a little nod to the cult. And then, like I said, everybody that's been supportive. So the whole Lemmy Affairs crew, both Ashes, Strange, Evie, like I said, family, immediate friends, my boy Will, I, of course, got to shout out to Don. It's like, I could just be shouting out people for like the whole first like 10 minutes. So I'm not even going to go there with all the shout outs. But thank you, love you, appreciate the fucking feedback and commentary. It just fucking feels good to not feel like, like I'm feeling like shit. Because then it allows me to be able to have those like crazy, like not crazy, but those like weird, kooky thoughts that I typically have, especially like funny thoughts. Because, I posted a picture of a box of fucking Cheerios that's a giant size. So that was a nice little callback to all my fucking cereal warriors out there who still out here challenging fucking boxes of cereal with fucking mixing bowls. It's just still fucking funny. I was thinking though, you ever notice how, and I mean we've probably seen this in some sort of way, and it doesn't make it right, but you ever notice you see a guy like approach a girl and be like, you're like, damn ma, like yo, why are you so like, the funny thing is everything is about somebody being thick. Like when I say thick, it's like thick with like a bunch of C's, thick. I don't know why I thought to myself, like, imagine if you just go up to a girl and just fuck her head up. You'd be like, damn, ma. You'd be like, oh, my God, here we go. Like, damn, ma, you got a thick face. It's like, you think about it, she'd be like, what the fuck? I think she'd probably laugh, be offended at the same time. Like, the fuck are you trying to say? It's like, damn, ma, you got a thick face. You just tell somebody they got a fucking thick face, dude. I love it. I love shit like that, man. You know, it's just things I think about in like my fucking spare time. It's just weird, man. Like I'm like, you know, I'm thinking even more so just breaking down this fucking format. But let me really break down some also important shit. That last episode I did, all right, I was tired. When I say I was tired, like I had a couple of issues. Like my light was having a couple of issues with just staying the fuck on. You know, so, I mean, just among the fact that it was, like, late that night when I was recording and all sorts of stuff like that. So, there's a couple of things I got wrong. So, let me clear those things up real quick. Number one being, I had mentioned that my favorite, this shout out to my boy Will, my favorite Batman for that Batman segment of episode 2 was Val Kilmer, when that whole time I was actually referring to Michael Keaton. Because Michael Keaton's fucking Batman is the Batman. Let's not get it fucked up. Val Kilmer was like Batman for what, like one movie? And then I was trying to think how many movies Ben Affleck was. Apparently he was an Aquaman. I missed the shit out of that. What else is there? Oh, one of the games, I kept saying it was like Days End or something like that. It was Days Gone. Okay, I even pulled up the art to the motherfucker and the shit was still, I was like, yeah, Days End. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I look back, I was like, I wasn't drinking, right? I was just fucking tired. I really was. Like I said, I was rocking the Scully. Okay, and, you know, like I said, I had a bit of a struggle throw going, you know, like I said, the waves was dead. They dead now. I'm resuscitating them. And, you know, like I said, it just feels good to be back at 110%, being able to give my 110%, getting lovely feedback, being able to kick off all of this shit. And like I said, this special holiday edition covering Black History Month and Valentine's Day. Which, speaking of which, I'm here to now drop an invaluable jewel. This is my guide of how you, as a single person, if you're a single person, it's for all the single people out here, how you can survive Valentine's Day in 3 ways. Number 1, the first way you can survive it is by random acts of kindness to others. Meaning, people, it doesn't have to be someone you have a crush on, doesn't have to be another admirer, it doesn't have to be something to where it's like anything real weird or something like it, but just, I always say the best thing you could ever do is just give out of the kindness of your heart to somebody. Just give something. So if you're out and about, you see somebody that's less fortunate, buy them a meal. If you're somewhere, someone drops something, you know, help them out. I mean, if you just see a random like person, just offer them just a small token of gratitude. I mean, anything. Like for me, my biggest thing was just always giving like women like flowers on random. You know, and my thing is, I would always have that look like, are you going to say something else? Is this the part where you ask for my number? It's like, no, that's just for you. Like, yeah, just have a good day. And the thing is, I don't ever do it because I'm looking for something. I do it just because I think that's just the right thing to do. I don't ever have to interact with those people ever again in my lifetime. They don't ever have to remember the gestures I did for them. It's just something I decided to do with the kindness of my heart. So that's the part of me that's super altruistic. So I say it's super dope if you just do things out of the kindness of your heart. That's number 1. Number 2, fuck all of that. And you can go from straight altruistic to straight hedonist and just treat yourself. Do whatever it is you have to do for you on this day, okay? Don't get caught up with the fucking misers online who are like, oh, lonely as F, single as fuck. What am I going to do? Oh, fuck Valentine's Day. Oh, this shit's for the birds. Look, you can bypass all that shit. And if you want to recognize it some sort of way, do something right by you. Go ahead and do some shit that's going to make you feel good. In whatever way that is. I mean, so long as it's one that, you know, is healthy and constructive. But yeah, just do right by you. Just, you know, fucking stay your ass at home and get some fucking Postmates or Yelp or something. Just fucking chill. Put on your fucking series you always wanted to watch, or a movie that you've been meaning to watch, or play music and catch up on some reading that you've been meaning to do. Either way, do something that's fulfilling and that's right by you. Sometimes that's the best thing. It's kind of like what they say, you know, oh, well, you know, God bless those who help themselves without getting all super religious or something like it. But just do right by you. Care about your damn self. Sometimes that's what the fuck it is we got to do. Then there's the third option, which I think is probably going to be the most popular. Do nothing to fuck at all. How about that one? Because Valentine's Day is just another one of these fucking holidays that we're like programmed to have to celebrate. And by celebrate, I mean spending fucking money. Think about it. You gotta go get chocolate, you gotta go out to eat, you gotta go get jewelry, you gotta go have gestures. You always gotta just do some kind of shit on this random little day. And if you think about it, who set those rules up? And if you also think about it even more closely, and this is the part of me that's not about to throw on some tinfoil hat and shit, but you notice how every month of the year there's like some kind of holiday or something that we have to commemorate, and by commemorating I mean recognize and fucking throw money at it. You're just boosting the motherfucking economy. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I mean, boost your own personal economy. Stay the fuck home, save your money, make yourself a fucking meal, do something right by you, mean you do. Fucking wash your ass, clean your feet, you know, clean your room or something like it, and just enjoy your day. You don't have to get caught up in the mix. It's just that simple. So, you know, I think people just get too caught up into the sanctimonious BS of these holidays and things like it. I, for one, I'm not going to be one of these people. Okay? I'm not one of these people that get caught up in the mix. I tell people all the time, when it comes to me, look, I'm like, hey, sweetie, if you want to walk around in negligee for me, that's cool. You can walk around in negligee and make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Or I will go make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And if I happen to turn around and you're in negligee, cool. If you're like, I'm just going to chill in sweats and do my work, so be it. It's just another fucking day in February. I don't ever want to make a big deal out of these things. Dude, I'm the kind of person where I don't even like to make big deals out of fucking Christmas. It just so happens that whenever I'm around people in gatherings, I'm like, okay, let me, you know, not be that guy that's like, fuck that, we're not doing this bullshit. I just don't get caught up in the silly shit of life, man. Life is already more complex as it is. Now I gotta fucking start throwing calendar days of the fucking month to be like, oh, by the way, let me give my full energy to wearing red and flowers and roses and shit like that. That's cool. Fucking support fucking local business and all that shit. But I'm just saying, at the same token though, bruh, yeah, just move on. That's it. It's another fucking day. Don't get caught up. But speaking of getting caught up, let me tell you what the fuck I've been getting caught up on Netflix. Look at that transition. Just butter. But yeah, what I've been getting caught up on Netflix, I finally fucking finished Twin Peaks Season 2. My God. That was rough. Anybody who's a fan of the series, Twin Peaks, as I've been speaking about it for the last few weeks, as I've been doing this podcast, you gotta know that has been from, I don't know. It was one of those series that you saw. It's kind of like Dexter. If you ever seen the show Dexter, or even Penny Dreadful, or any of these other shows that really had a really good start at the very beginning of it, but then it just careened somewhere in a whole different direction. It was starting to get really weird. Like, it was already a surreal show as it was, and kind of, you know, off the beaten path, but this shit just, it just went totally left. So I'm glad to say I did the first 2 episodes. Now I know all these other references. Now I have to just see that Fire Walk With Me film, and then I have to see the latest incarnation of Twin Peaks. I know they did a revival season like a year or 2 ago, so I'll have to check that. But then what I was getting caught up on was this new series on Netflix, fucking Russian Doll, with Natasha Lyonne and this actor Charlie Barnett. Dude, I love how many surreal shows are on Netflix. It's fucking dope. Because like I said, for me, I immediately went from Twin Peaks, which was a mindfuck, to then going straight to Russian Doll, which is even bigger mindfuck. So I'll break the signs down without giving too much. So this woman finds herself, you know, at her birthday. I think she's turned like 36 or something like that, 32, 36, either way in her 30s. Hosted by her friends, and she finds herself as she's like as she's going through the party and all the elements of it there, her friends, an ex shows up, a guy she may want to sleep with, all these other different things are going on at this party, people getting fucked up. As she leaves, she dies in some really strange, horrible way each time. And apparently, you know, not to give any spoilers away, this was pretty much in its own sense like almost her own fucked up version of the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. except that it was less about, okay, it's a holiday and some weird shit going on. It was more so like, all right, psychologically, you know, there are parts of your life that you haven't, you know, necessarily come to a pass about. So with it, I'm on one of those same days because she started to really get the ropes of like, all right, my survivability, let me avoid this pitfall and let me avoid doing this thing and that thing. So she's super smart and really like breaking down how she can get through this day, because it took her a while to realize like, fuck, I'm dying horribly every fucking day and it's the same day. And none of my friends, anyone else around me are hip to it. So then she runs into a guy, the actor Charlie Burnett, by the name of Alan. And Alan is this guy who's like, oh yeah, it happens to me too. Yeah, I die every day. And it's just crazy because they almost had similar paths, but just different lives in a sense. Like different lives on a similar path. Like they just had traumas that they themselves were going through and needed to pretty much get closure on. It was dope because, number one, like I said, I love these sort of creative out-of-the-box like series. And I especially love it when it's like featuring a diverse cast. You know, it's in New York. The shit was fucking funny. It was shot well. Okay, the concept was super dope. And then on top, it's one of those things that just made you think. And then what I liked the most was the character, Alan. I mean, it's kind of different to be able to, number one, get a black lead, holla culture. You get a black lead going in there, and he himself is kind of, I don't want to say he's like the damsel in distress, but he's pretty much the dude that's like here for the journey as well, and he needs help. And it's dope to see a guy who's like, hey, look, dude, like, I need some help too. Like, there's things that are going on in my life that I'm not too happy about. I'm not going to spoil anything, but you could see there were things that he needed to sort of fix as well. And I was like, yo, that's super dope. I can relate to Alan on certain levels. So, fucking Russian Doll is dope. You gotta fucking see it. I think it was dope. It was funny as shit. It's crazy dysfunctional, and like I said, some things were over the top, other things were just like, oh, dude. Because to watch the way both of these fuckers were dying consistently, it was wild. Because then it makes you think like, yo, how many days am I avoiding shit like that? It was fucking crazy. But then, as soon as I wrapped that up, because I was like 6 or 7 episodes, like 8 episodes, maybe something like it. I then jumped into an old show that I had always heard about, that I heard was dope as fuck, and that was Peaky Blinders. Okay, my boy Cillian Murphy, a bunch of motherfuckers. It's like a British BBC show, like a British crime drama. You know the Brits do crime drama the best. I'm not gonna knock any other groups, you know, any other folks on Walk of Life. For some reason, the Brits just got that shit on a fucking lock. But I mean, and again, you know, this ain't the tie into Black History Valentine's Day any sort of way. So I think it's only like 2 black characters on Peaky Blinders. But the Peaky Blinders gang, bring them in and they in there. Okay, they some Jamaican migrants, you know, living in the UK. But yo, gangster shit. And I love it. I love these sort of old gritty period piece like fucking series, man. It's just been dope. Like, so Netflix has me locked in. This is the most Netflix I've been getting in a while. And I mean, any other time would normally be a Marvel series, but you know, fuck all, the fucking House of Mouse is moving those the fuck out. So Peaky Blinders, my new obsession. If you haven't seen it, definitely see it. It's pretty dope. You know, drama's good, action's good, it's pretty violent. The dialogue, characters are rich, background scenery, it's all super dope. Russian Doll, I definitely suggest it. It's new, just came out. You know, like I said, Natasha Lyonne, funny, smart, witty, you know, definitely has all this shit together. You know, Alan's funny in his own weird, neurotic way. It's just super dope series. Like, I definitely dig it. And again, Twin Peaks was a mindfuck. But speaking of fucking mindfucks, I'm telling you, my transitions are going to be A1 this episode, motherfucker. Genie. During the motherfucking Grammys, which we'll be getting into right after this particular subject, we saw the live action Aladdin fucking preview, which happened to feature Will Smith as Genie. And the internet responded in all saying at the same time, what the fuck is that? I, for one, definitely someone who still has this Genie doll from when he went to motherfucking Disney World back in like 94, 95. Definitely saying what the fuck is that. Number 2, you kind of need to give them a little bit of slack. It may not be the final like image per se, but at least is giving you a rough idea. And it's just a little weird just because it's like, okay, I mean, we all should have known collectively it was going to be odd, because even if you had Robin Williams at this point, the genie would have had an older face. It wouldn't have been probably, I mean, it could have been Robin Williams' body. I mean, it just would have been strange anyway. It's live action. You know this shit's going to be kind of odd looking. They should have just straight CGI Genie. They shouldn't have given him anyone. I mean, they did, but they didn't even give him anyone's likeness. Just give him his own look, but then that person's voice. I don't see why we just didn't do that shit. But either way, nonetheless, the shit was definitely fucking creepy. People said it was nightmare fuel. People said that that's the shit that they see when they experience sleep paralysis at night. It was just a very, very odd offering for a live-action Disney film. And I mean, the whole Aladdin movie right now is kind of shrouded with kind of like weirdness going on. Some people are like, oh, you know, you could have got, you know, a better Jasmine, which I think you could have. You pretty much got a Priyanka Chopra like Jasmine. I mean, you could have got one of these beautifully, wonderfully talented actresses from Bollywood, but instead you wanted someone who I think was a fucking Power Ranger not too long ago. Either way, she just always looks upset and constipated anytime you see her during the trailer. Fucking Jafar, I mean, some folks are already bitching about his voice. I'm like, I don't really give a shit. Just as long as this do-rag is popping. Either way, this is just one of those movies you go in with super low expectations. I don't think we should hold fucking Majin Genie to the highest fucking standard. Just let this shit slide. It is what it is. Maybe it'll grow on you. It's the fucking Fresh Prince of Agrabah. Just chill the fuck out, okay? Let the genie live. That's all I'm saying. So, speaking of letting live, we gotta talk about the Grammys now. Breathe. Best rap album goes to Cardi B. Let me tell you why I'm both happy and pissed. So the whole thing is this. I'm happy because she's a representative of the Bronx. From our old hood, High Bridge. Okay? She's holding it down for the boogie down. I'm not mad at her. The Bronx needs good news since what happened to, you know, the kid out of the bodega. You know, RP to him. You know, peace and blessing to his family. And just the bum rap that the Bronx gets. I mean, you know, Cardi B is a success story. Someone who you saw literally come from, you know, like one of the lowest common denominators of society to now being the highest paid rapper this past year. So, you know, I mean, you know, not everybody's going to agree with her content, but still, she's still making a success of herself. Now, where I feel like it's fucking things up. As far as offerings that you had the late great Mac Miller Swimming, which was pretty much his like final masterpiece of work created. I mean, even removing my bias as a Mac Miller fan, I still think that he poured a lot onto this record and was trying to show that he was at least, you know, trying to move his life into a direction. You know, unfortunately, it was short-lived. Pusha T's Daytona. I mean, you're talking like a 7-track offering that was produced exclusively by Kanye West. It was one of the biggest known albums within the year. I mean, it didn't have as many singles, but it was still well known, well received by fans and listeners. And it also was big because it came out around the time of him and Drake's, you know, public falling out. So, you know, I feel like that was like a really big and important record. Cardi B's, however, of all those albums mentioned, I think probably charted the best commercially. She had the most hits from it, most singles, and that's probably where hip-hop is now fucked up. Because it's not about the substance anymore. It's all about the commercialism of hip-hop, the bastardization of hip-hop. You're talking about a musical genre that was all about speaking about the struggles of people in urban environments and what they had to do to ultimately rise above or to empower those around them in similar positions. You ain't talking about that shit when you're talking about drip drip. You just not. You're just not. That's the thing with Cardi. She's not offering anything to the game. So it's fucked up in that regard. It's fucked up highly in that regard. And I get it. She got the rap album of the year, only solo female artist to do that. I get it, but I feel like we pretty much awarded the latest hot commodity. That's really all that we did. That's all we did just now. Plus, not to mention, if you even look at her work, she's got like 12 writers going on. So it's not like she's someone who's really in there lyrically giving her all. Is she performing, doing all she got to do, or as you would say, shaking her ass to get it all done? Yes, she is, and I'm not taking none of that away from her. I'm not. But I'm just saying, as a whole, on the landscape, probably not the best offering. And then we get caught up in the whole shit where, you know, Drake was giving his fucking speech for getting God for his Grammy for Rap Song of the Year Gospelin', which was like, as far as rap songs of the year. I mean, come on. And then from there, people want to make a big deal that he got cut off at the Grammys. Listen, everybody gets cut off at those fucking award shows because you start getting into tangents. You can only go on tangents like mine on a podcast. You can't do that shit in an award show and go, oh, blah, 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 and let me tell you about the struggle and blah, blah, blah. Bro, you can't do that. You can't do that. They got commercials in between these breaks. So I feel like half of that was, yes, you were kind of shitting on the fact that you're like, these awards don't matter. If you're a hardworking person, granted, I hear the little bit of message of what you're saying, but this is still a business, and the business side, they're like, okay, Drizzy, moving on, Aubrey, thank you. So that's it. I mean, if you're going to talk about something, let's talk about the fucking elegance. What the fuck? Elegance. The fuck have I become fucking Scooby-Doo on this podcast? But speaking about the fucking elegance, the fucking absolute fucking mastery of fucking Alicia Keys holding it down, where she's just showing the fuck out, playing two pianos at once. And then you got underdogs, people that were probably overlooked because they weren't Cardi B or Drake. You had fucking Anderson .Paak get his first Grammy award, fucking nom, for the rap song Bubblin' for rap performance, which Bubblin' was my fucking Get Money album last year and shit, Get Money single. So I was all fucking soup for that man. That man, Anderson .Paak is good. You fucking sleeping on him if you haven't listened to any of his albums. So, well, he's a beast out in the West Coast. I gotta shout out my boy Randy for this one, my boy Havoc. Fantastic Negrito, okay? Also another black artist who won Blues Contemporary album, I think his second Grammy. Again, like folks are out here winning now. Don't get it fucked up. Black History Month is coming in super strong, okay? Out here winning shit. Rashida Jones got up there for I think documentary composition for her father's documentary Quincy Jones. In case you never heard of the legendary producer, get your shit together. So you know, I mean, folks are out here winning, man. Like I can't be able to fucking say that the Grammys were a total wash. Like I said, it's unfortunate that all that mainstream shit kind of started to prevail. But I mean, when you get Daniel Glover's "This Is America" Song of the Year and then Video of the Year, I mean, huge history was made. So can't knock it. You just gotta add it to the month. Just put it on the fucking board. Let's keep it moving. Speaking of shit of this month, God, I'm telling you, I'm fucking lighting it. Come on, you gotta give me fucking something for these transitions. I'm smacking these shits today. Thank you. Games of this fucking particular month. So, Apex, as we know, at the time of this recording, came out about last week. In between that time, it has amassed upwards to 25 million players in its first fucking week. It's more than the player base of Fortnite. So, what I'm telling you is, we're looking at the new Big Daddy of Battle Royale games. Am I saying that it's going to get Fortnite money? Yes, it will. Because with a player base like that, you got to know that a great portion of them are going to put in money. You got to know corporate sponsors are going to want to get in on that money. You just got to know that it's the current new kid on the block. Shit, I mean, it was so big, IGN.com's even reported saying that it was able to revive playership on Titanfall 2, a game that people pretty much said were dead like within its first 3 months of coming out. So this is big. This is like huge right now. Super huge. So fucking Apex Legends is killing it right now. I know some people, I know my boy Chris, he said he wasn't really feeling it, too much. And I'm like, hey, it was a game that took a little while to grow on me. So I think it's one of those things that you give it enough time, people are going to, really get hip to it, because not everybody, when it comes to games, especially shooting games, want to build a fucking fort like in Fortnite. Like, no, it's just a new offering in that particular medium. So we'll see. As far as new games for the month, there's a list. So I'm going to go ahead and actually go through this list so I can tell you what I find to be pretty good and then what I find to be... So let's go ahead and look through this real quick. Let's go ahead and do this in chronological order, okay? By the time this podcast is out, Catherine Full Body should be released. And Catherine Full Body is a sequel to the game Catherine, which is like this weird sort of Japanese RPG puzzle game. So this is a sequel to that. I think that's going to be dope. I don't even have to really give that too much thought. Far Cry New Dawn, a new installment to the Far Cry series. I mean, they already have my attention because Far Cry has been pretty good since at least 4. I never played the earlier ones. I know some people are like, how dare you, what the fuck? I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I mean, so far, I like the gameplay mechanics, I like the looks, and I think they're trying to move as far away from the last Far Cry, which started to get real heavy in its story. And this one's just more about like chaotic, shoot 'em up, bang bang, all that good shit. Which sometimes is all you need in an FPS. You don't need too much of a enriched story because not everybody's here for all of that. Just give a nice map, nice gameplay mechanics, an assortment of weapons and shit that one gets to choose from. You know, gameplay modes. Hopefully some fucking dedicated servers. All right, and let's just get the shit going. Let's see. That'll be out on the 15th. The highly anticipated fucking Jump Force, featuring all of Shonen Jump's favorite anime motherfucking characters, all on this Smash Brothers like game offering, is definitely highly anticipated. I know it because my dear son Julian, you know, aka Chill, is gonna be all over that. That's right. There's your drop. Father loves you. That's a little reference to my cult. And yeah, I mean, I know that's a really highly anticipated game, so that's also huge, and that's a huge. Another highly anticipated, well, probably moderately anticipated game, only because fuckers been waiting for it as long as they've been waiting for fucking Kingdom Hearts 3, is fucking Crackdown 3. I mean, and this isn't because I'm someone who doesn't have an Xbox or isn't fond of an Xbox. I just don't know if at this far along, if Crackdown 3 is going to be able to live up to its like, I guess, anticipated hype. I don't really know. I feel like it's one of those games that people are probably going to really want to hope for the best for, but I don't know if anyone's like running out like, yeah, dude, I got to get Crackdown 3. No, you'll probably see a price drop in like the first week and a half to 2 weeks, and that's just being honest. Then from there, you've got Anthem, which will be out on the 22nd. Now, let me tell you why I give Anthem this, and trust me, I understand there's going to be some bias because I actually have not played the game. What I have done is seen plenty of gameplay, and I can already predetermine, based off of the accounts of gameplay and people among my cult/clan who have played the game during its beta last week, it pretty much is Destiny meets Lost Planet meets Monster Hunter. I don't know if that's necessarily a great thing. I don't know if it's not necessarily a terrible thing. But I don't think it's as new and innovative as they're trying to make it out to seem. And then, you know, there were already some bugs upon the actual like beta launch. And then people already saying that it's probably going to be one of those weird cash grabby games anyway, which I'm not interested in these adventure style FPS, you know, sort of like expansion heavy games. Like I'm just not really in it for those anymore. I'm not, because for whatever reason, it constantly feels like you're pouring out money, and all you're gonna be doing is pretty much dealing with bullet sponge bosses that you'll just be sitting back holding R2. Okay, please don't kill me. Now hold R2. All right, now please don't kill me. Now here's a special ability that I'm gonna hold R2 until I watch your health bar just go down. That's just like with fucking Tom Clancy's The Division. There's a sequel coming up. Could give a fuck less, because the first one, in my opinion, was horrible. So, bullet sponge bosses, not what people are necessarily looking for. I'm sure some people are going to love it, but for me, nah. Then, you also get Metro Exodus. I know that was a game that I heard really good shit about. It's a trilogy from, it's the trilogy in the Metro series based on a book. Like, survival horror game. You deal with mutants and like crazy people and like, you know, this desolate wasteland in Russia. And it's another FPS that's pretty dope, so I'm pretty sure some people will check that out. And then Trials Rising. Now, Trials itself it's an interesting game because it's only, I'd only say it's only one of its kind. I've never seen like a BMX game or any other biking game where you were always trying to pull off stunts, and if you failed during those stunts, you weren't able to really progress through the map. So it almost like tests it, like it really is a trial. It's testing you as you go along through the shit. There's a lot of patience, a lot of fucking frustration. For that, I'm willing to get the game if it's at the right price point. If it's at like $30, $40, then yeah. If it's going for $59.99, you talk about some extra DLC with unicorns and shit. No, fuck you. I'm not spending all that fucking money. You can forget that shit. That shit is all the way out. But speaking of the culture, gotta hold it down. I figured I'd put together a nice, comprehensive top 5 list of who I feel are the 5 top black characters in gaming. Now, I'm ready to hear feedback and comments and people with their own list and things like that to interject with. This is just a list that I populated for some time now, and I thought to myself, you know what? In terms of impact, I'm thinking impact with this. Honorable mention would be motherfuckers like Afro Thunder from Ready to Rumble. Because, I mean, Ready to Rumble is a fucking great game. I don't care. Most people don't even think about Ready to Rumble. I feel like it's one of those games that definitely deserves a sequel. Because how many boxing games are there out now? And if you think about those boxing games, how many of them are like cartoony and wacky like Ready to Rumble was? So I'm just saying. So I throw Afro Thunder up there as a honorable mention. And I was gonna mention another one, but I feel like if I do that, that's gonna spoil the list. So let's just jump into the list now then. So, top 5 black characters in gaming. Number 5 would be Eddie Gordo from the Tekken series. Now, Eddie Gordo debuted in Tekken 3. He's very much interesting because as far as in gaming, he's the first capoeira fighter that I've ever seen in a popular video game. So that really took that particular fighting style and made it a unique offering, and you did it with a Afro-Brazilian character in Eddie Gordo. I mean, my man looked like Jamie Foxx with dreads if he was like chilling on the beach somewhere in Sao Paulo. But what made it super dope was, and this will show you how fucking old I was, back in the arcades, when you had them quarters in your pocket, ready to get it popping, okay, you pick Eddie, maybe even honorable mention, even though he's not black and on this list, Warong, okay? You pick any of the motherfuckers that mostly have kick combos, you beat most people's asses unless they really know what they're doing. Because Eddie was able to chain, and still is, I'm sure, able to change so many fucking combo hits in such a short amount of time. It was like a lot of like half circle rotations with X and circle, and just it was crazy the fucking moves you can pull off with Eddie Gordo. It was fucking ridiculous. Then on top of that, he had an alter ego named Tiger, which was like some dude in bell-bottom pants, platform shoes, and a fucking fro with some shades on. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Anyone care to give me some backstory on that? Feel free to do so in the comments. We'll talk about it. Number 4 was Lance Vance from GTA Vice City. I said Lance Vance is huge because if you think about how big of a game Vice City was, it was the next step in Rockstar's graphics for the GTA series. I mean, Liberty City was big, but Vice City was even bigger. And Lance Vance was like the guy that you kind of were looking to model yourself after in the game, but then you came up with him and ran up with him as Tommy Vercetti as you guys created, you know, the whole crime syndicate that you guys are putting together. I mean, spoilers fucking alert, okay, of like more than 10 years at this point, motherfucker, if you haven't played it. But at some point, as you are moving among the ranks, you and Lance do have a falling out, a bit of a power struggle, and at some point, Lance double crosses you to your old crew up in Liberty City, and you got to put Lance down. So I get it, but without Lance, there would have been no surviving the first pearls that you did as Tommy Vercetti. Okay, first of all, that fucking suit made you want to get that same type of suit so you could be just as fly as Lance. Plus, let's also keep it fucking real. That fucking Infernus was popping. When you saw him pull up in that white Infernus, motherfucker, you wanted an Infernus. Okay, so I feel like Lance Vance was huge. There was no Malibu Club. There was none of that shit without Lance Vance. And also a nice fun fact, the guy who did the voice acting work for Lance Vance was also the co-lead detective in the show Miami Vice. So, yeah, a little bit of fun facts for you, in case you didn't know that. Number 3 would have to be Augustus Coltrane from the motherfucking Gears of War series. I say that just because if you think about the Gears of War series, #1, has to probably be up there as far as top series of all time for the Xbox. So I feel like not including Cole as a prominent figure on this list would be fucking egregious. Okay, because like I said, if you think about top series for the Xbox, you think Halo, you throw Gears almost directly right after it, among a bunch of other offerings that, you know, are all debatable. But either way, Cole is one of the prominent figures of the cogs during that whole Gears of War story, and he was kind of like just the overall life, the heart and soul of the team. It's like everybody was so fucking serious and brooding at what they were dealing with. Cole was almost sadistically having a great fucking time stomping motherfuckers and blowing their heads off. He just was. And with the woo-woo and all that other crazy ad-libs and shit that he would drop, like, he was just the life of the party. Marcus Phoenix was just fucking serious and brooding and like the Steven Seagal type trying to get through shit. Cole was just a wild man. And trust me, so anytime I ever played that shit, and I ever went to Horde or any of those other online offerings, motherfucker, you were Cole. Always trying to fuck people up with that Lancer. So I'm sorry, but yeah, I feel like you gotta give Cole his well-deserved. You gotta put him at #3. That's just all due respect to him. Then #2. This one's a little heavy, so I'll try to be as sharp, succinct, and concise as humanly possible. You gotta give this to Aya, aka Amunet, of the Assassin's Creed series. #1. She is referenced as early as Assassin's Creed 2, which is probably any fan of the Assassin's Creed series' favorite Assassin's Creed, which is #2. Okay, with Ezio Auditore da Firenze. Okay. When you go into spoilers, again, more than fucking 10 years. Get your shit right. About maybe 10 years on the nose. When you get to a certain part in the end game, you go into the Assassin's Tomb where you try to go get Altair's legendary assassin's armor, and you notice all these different like monuments to the assassins over the ages of time, and you see that one of the earliest, if not the earliest assassin, is one named Amunet, the hidden one, and how she pretty much killed Cleopatra with an Egyptian asp. So that was back then. Now taking it to the latest game, which its iteration came out about last year, and Assassin's Creed Origins, you had it to where you played Aya for about maybe 30% of the game. Now granted, you played Bayek, and you're probably thinking, well, why not Bayek on this list? And the reason why I'll tell you is this, and again, spoilers in case you don't want to hear this shit, okay, in case you didn't play the game. But as the story progresses and you go along, you come to see that their relationship at some point gets very complex. They're all to the mission of revenge because they lost their son. And to make a long story short, they complete their mission, they both survive, but they ultimately go their separate ways. Bayek is completely set up on trying to restore order and peace and maintain the lands of Egypt to his old village of Siwa and all across the board. As far as Aya, Amunet, is concerned, she's more so concerned with trying to look at the larger picture, which is, well, we need an order that are always going to be here to make sure that we keep those in power in check, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. So her whole thing was as well, we need to maintain this order that we have. So she called it the Hidden Ones, and the Hidden Ones would ultimately become the Brotherhood of Assassins. So to make a long fucking story short, Aya is pretty much the mother of all assassins, because she was the one that actually put the Assassin Brotherhood together. She was a co-founder. So yes, in conclusion, because I had to go ahead and get a female on the list, I had to get a woman on the list, I figure Aya is the most prominent black female character in gaming, period. She was featured in the first Assassin's Creed 2 with Ezio, and she finally got her story told along with Bayek and Assassin's Creed Origin. That's why she's so high on this motherfucking list. And that's what brings me to #1, because this motherfucker was played by many, beloved by many, and definitely took advantage of all the new features, the new accoutrements, and everything that came with playing him. And that's motherfucking CJ from Grove Street from motherfucking Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Why I say that shit? Simple. You able to dual wield guns. You able to get yourself tattooed. You was able to get fucking shredded, or just be a thick boy. You were able to fucking swim. You were able to customize your clothes. You were able to do a bunch of shit with CJ that you really weren't able to do with other iterations previously in the Grand Theft Auto games. So I feel like CJ is most prominent because he was the protagonist of the story. And San Andreas is one of like the most successful GTA games. So thusly, in fucking conclusion, I figure he's probably the most popular black character in gaming. If you think about it, again, San Andreas was a great leap from Vice City, and it was the leap before we went to Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5. And again, it was featuring CJ from the Grove. You were able to have all those customization features. You were this gangbanger who was simply trying to go ahead and turn your hood around, get the bullshit that was going on in your whole backstory straightened out, and yes, you just so happen to be a gangbanger from the hood. But guess what? Still, most popular character, I'm sorry, it was definitely fucking CJ. Like, absolutely. Everybody was playing CJ the gangbanger from Grove Street. So that's what I gotta say as far as my little iteration of top 5 black characters in gaming. So I was able to get all that shit off the internet, and when I'm able to get off the internet more so, a bunch of shit live from the comment sections. Now, that's probably the only transition that was a little, you know, it was just a little like, I admit that shit was kind of, but either way, work with me here. If you're familiar with the platform Instagram, only like one of the biggest, if not now, well, probably second biggest among, you know, social media platforms out here now. You will notice that if you go to most posts and you go inside the comment section, especially like big popular like pages and media pages, you'll find a bunch of bullshit in there. And what I find to be most interesting is that you always get these profiles that are either like doppelgangers of an already famous person, or like a meme about a famous person. Or then you'll get something that's just like, hey, yeah, use me as a fuck this person button, or use me as a like this post button, or something like. So I'm always curious as like the fucking psychology behind the people that literally live in the comment section. Me, I like to just vicariously just chill. I mean, every now and then I throw myself into the fray and be like, yo, you need to chill. Or like, yo, dude, relax. It's not that serious. Every now and then I throw myself in the fucking fray. And it's not because I feel like I'm the arbiter of truth, so that, oh, my fucking point reigns supreme over someone else's. It's just because you really got to question what these motherfuckers are doing in there. It's like, to a certain understanding, I respect the art of trolling if it's just for laughs. But then it has to walk a fine line. It shouldn't be some shit to try to make someone purposely feel like shit and really tear them down. You want to punch up. Like, I can appreciate white hat trolling. Like, I can appreciate something if it was like making fun of, like, let's say, LeBron's hairline. He doesn't give a shit about that. You think LeBron gives a fuck about what you say about his hairline? No. He doesn't give a fuck. Not at all. But, I mean, if it's something like along the lines where, like, I'm thinking about it now, like, you'll see shit in comment sections that'll just, it'll change you. It's changed me. I think what especially gets me are the folks who go to certain, like, media pages and they just have to get their shit off their chest and just say something fucked up or just say something really negative. And you think about it, you got the right to do it, but it's like, why? Because you almost know that by doing that, you're going to get someone that's going to react to what you're saying, and then you're going to have to react to what they're saying, and it's just going to be this cyclical, like, bullshit fest where both of you are wasting your fucking time. So, I don't get it, but I can tell you, oh, hold on, I got to mention the sponsor. As you know, the motherfucking drink of the day, the week, the month, and the motherfucking year, water. Gotta get those shout outs when they count, baby. But I think the strangest thing was that I remember seeing, like, and this is from like a bunch of guys, they'll go up to, like, let's say a post on like Wired, and Wired will mention something about Donald Trump. Now, it doesn't make a difference where the fuck you fall in a political, you know, spectrum, okay? I know people that are pro, anti, don't give a fuck, all shades in between, all flavors. But it'll be the person that'll see something like that on Wired, which is like a technology magazine and outlet, and they'll go, I don't want to see this political stuff up here. This is bullshit. I'm unfollowing the page. You motherfuckers have lost your way. First of all, dude, you're talking about a multi-million-dollar company that is owned most likely by or probably as an agency that does their postings, which is also a multi-million-dollar company. that sees this fucking content as relevant to their motherfucking brand. So you are some random dude online, random person online, saying, oh, this is bullshit, you've gotten political, oh, this shit shouldn't be up here. It's fucking verified, which is important, verifiable information. Who gives a fuck about random dude's opinion on there? So me, that's why I normally, like, I slide in, and I normally laugh at motherfuckers. I'll put the Nancy Pelosi, you know, clap gift to a motherfucker or something like it. Or then, even more so, you'll get a motherfucker to go on GQ. Speaking of Anderson .Paak earlier, they had a picture of him and his son celebrating his fucking Grammy award. And somebody go up and be like, who? I'm like, bro, you want to know who the fuck that is? Number one, they added him, so you can go see who it is. And number two, don't be that dickhead, because as someone who's clearly done more in their time in a career to be fucking recognized by not only the Grammys, but GQ to post them on their fucking Instagram. Don't be that guy. Don't be that person. I don't understand where the fuck these people come from, but they do it. Or then you get that one guy, it's like, oh, gee, yeah, I totally missed that because I don't listen to trash. Dude. Who are you people? Like, dead ass, who are you motherfuckers that wake up and just look the shit in everybody's cereal? Bro, keep that shit that way. I don't understand what fuels these fucking people. I'm not one of these people that ever feel it necessary, even as a kid. Okay, motherfucker can dig up my old tweets. I never got anything from, like, fucking with people. And if I did, it was mostly in a video game, in which case we were adversaries, so you fucking earned it. But otherwise, I'm like, dude, come on. Like, what the fuck are we doing? And again, this is deep in the comment section, again, on a brand page that makes millions of dollars, that's most likely managed with their marketing company that, again, produces millions of dollars, but some random motherfucker who's got whatever amount of followers, page probably fucking private, is like, no, this shit shouldn't be up on your brand. It shouldn't be on your fucking page. In any event, Instagram, YouTube, and the latter. I have a proposition for you. If you're somebody who's not like the people I just mentioned, but yet you feel as though you're good with outreach, you go with reaching out to folks, you post either great content or your following is just incredible in whatever capacity, I want you to holla at me. Why? Because I'm looking for ambassadors. That's right, motherfucker. I'm on this podcast right now. This is not an ad. This is simply a proposal that if you are an ambassador, I don't want to say influencer because it's a little cringy, but somebody who has quite the following, can curate your content correctly, and be able to feature this podcast and its offerings to your audience to become our audience, I'd love for you to work with me. If you're if you're a lady who's like, hey, I'm really great at my work, or you know what, people love my look and my vibe, my aesthetic, cool. People find you hot, they think you're gifted and talented, fantastic. I want you to DM me. If you're a dude and you're just like, hey, people love my look, they love my aesthetic, they love my high cheekbones and the way that I take pictures of myself in the snow, granted, you come over here with your fucking fresh face and I want you to go ahead and fucking help fucking disseminate my offerings to the masses. If you're somebody that's non-binary, doesn't even register in any of those categories, you're just your own person, your own being, and people fuck with you, they fuck with your vibe, everything, your aura, all things in between, guess what, motherfucker? I want you to come up in my DM and I want you to hire me. This is a proposal to be able to work for me. I want to be able to get my offerings out there to be disseminated to the masses. So that way people can get the amazing content, the amazing detail work, and we can work together. We can be a team. You get paid. You'll get your own recognition. And when merch and things like that start rolling out, you'll be right there to go ahead and be a part of it. So, otherwise, I like to say, this has been a fucking interesting podcast. I'm sorry, man. Like, you know, like, it's just been crazy how fucking deep it was going. But, yo, I can tell you that, I re-recorded this because the first one I was just like, it just felt very heavy-handed. Didn't feel like that natural, you know, way of how I normally talk. I don't want to get too caught up and, you know, making sure I hit my marks and target audiences and all. I mean, that's great, but that's why I said you grand marketeers, you ambassadors of all things dope, holla at me. We can do this together. And for you viewers, you listeners, thank you. It's been another episode. This is the 4th one of the series and one of many to look forward to. This is episode 3. Please take time, like I said, to go ahead and give me your feedback, like I said, based upon what I've told you as far as your Valentine survival guide, what I'm currently watching on Netflix, my top 5 black characters in gaming. You're going to talk about the Grammys. You're going to talk about that scary ass genie and just, I mean, talk shop with me. I'm literally just hitting everybody up who literally leaving me some sort of comments or feedback. I love picking people's brains, and like I said, this just feels great. I love all the support, all the, you know, responses I'm getting, so feel free to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and up on this podcast, feel free to like, leave a rating, and subscribe on whatever platform in which you listen to your favorite podcast. And that is it for me. I am your host, Imani Wilson, and this has been another episode of the Bombastic Podcast. Peace. We out.